first friends that I made in the cast, and I've loved her since I loved her in Hello. She's sneaking out. She's coming out. Ladies and gentlemen, the awesome, the generous, and the truly talented. This woman, I respect her craft so much. She's a badass actor, and that's why we love the character, because she's talented, she's beautiful, she's Lana Parrilla! She's a black magic. She's a black magic. She's a black magic. She's so beautiful. Yes, she's a black magic. Good to see you.
Always so complimentary.
You know what though? But you know, because it comes from the heart. You're a badass human being. You are. I like the way you think. I think you're intelligent. You're generous. You're loving. You have some qualities that everyone aspires to, and that's why people are batshit crazy about you. And you know what? It's so true. I think I was probably the first or second evil Rigo guy, so.
He was, and I'll never forget it because he felt bad about it. He had to hide his face.
Oh yeah. Well, it was like, because I'm really like, when this all started, all this.
No!
Yeah. Supposed to be a charming, but really I'm a Rigo.
I love you, Lee.
I love you too, Lana. Awesome. You know, and it's always great to see you, and thanks for being here. And all right, I'm going to come back for you in a little bit and have a good time. Okay? All right, let's go.
Now the lights are really nice. I can't see everyone's faces, but welcome. This has been such a delightful day. I'm in a very unique form. I'm super silly today. And I'm like Mrs. Goofball. So bear with me in my This feels better. I like to see everyone. Thank you, whoever turned the lights on. Appreciate it. Okay, so we have an hour. We have a lot of people lined up, and I'd like to get started. So let's start with this beautiful young lady.
Thank you. Okay, so when I was little, I always fantasized about being like Jasmine and living like in that time, you know?
Yeah.
When you were growing up, who was like the character you always wanted to be?
Character I wanted to be a mermaid. I wanted to live in the ocean when I was little, or could I still say that? Because I still want to be a fish. I want to be a fish. And if I could, if I could somehow magically turn myself into a mermaid, I would. And I would have to turn other people into mermaids and mermans, and just because I would want my friends. But yes. You're welcome.
Hi. My question is, a lot of actor friends that I know have very commanding stage presence, but are in actuality really, really introverted. Do you find that for yourself, or are you actually kind of an extroverted person?
I'm both. I think if I were really introverted, it would be hard to be here, right? I probably wouldn't be as comfortable talking to all of you, looking at you all. I like to extrovert as much as possible. I think it keeps us out of our heads and our weird thoughts. I do like quiet time. And if I'm in a particular mood, I can be very quiet and alone. And I like that. So I'm a little bit of both, but I would probably say I'm more of an extrovert.
Thanks.
You're welcome. And you look phenomenal. It always
Wins.
All right. Hi.
So what inspired you to become an actress?
I don't know. I think that I always wanted to do this. I remember quite young telling my mom that at 8 years old that I wanted to be an actor and I was going to do this. And I think my aunt influenced me a bit, not intentionally, just I admired her so much and her world was so mysterious. I think I saw her maybe in one play, but she was always in film and in television. But I think the performer or the actor was born in me at a young age. And I shared this earlier, so forgive me for those who have heard this already, but when I was maybe about 4 or 5 years old, I would sit in front of the mirror and cry, and my mom would hear me and run in thinking something was wrong. And she'd look at me and go, "Are you okay? What are you doing?" And I'd look at her and say, "I'm practicing." And she was like, "Okay." And I don't even think I understood really what that meant then, but maybe I did. I have a cousin who has a daughter, who has 2 daughters, but one is like, she will get on the stage right now and sing Adele. Like, she is fearless and just is this performer, loves it, and she's just like, "Please put me in acting classes, please get me an agent, please get me out there." And they're like, "What do we do?" And I said, "Do it." And clearly she knows that this is what she's meant to do. So, clearly I knew that this is what I was meant to do. You're welcome. Hi.
So I was watching a snippet of the Miami Medical episode where you had a boy that was passed out and it turns out he was deaf. Did you learn sign language for that scene, or?
Did I learn it kind of overall or just for the scene?
Mm-hmm.
So I learned what I needed to learn in order to, to play that part for the character and for the scene for that episode. But I've always had interest in learning sign language, and I actually have a couple of books at home that I bought years ago, and I was going to teach myself sign language, and I got not too far. I mean, I've forgotten so much. I do know the alphabet, and I do know a few things, but I'm not as familiar with the language as I'd like to be. Do you speak sign language? Or, sorry,
Yeah.
do you sign?
Yeah, I
That really makes
took
sense.
it in middle school, high school time, because we had some kids who were in our class that were deaf, and they had us take some classes to learn with them.
Okay.
So when my son was starting to learn his alphabets, I would teach him the sign language
Yeah.
and have him do that. I was like, oh, it's good for him to know a little bit, more.
Yeah. I think all languages are really great to learn. If you got the time and interest, do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Hi. I think I need your mic kind of a little bit closer or turned on. There we go.
When we see you in Storybook, you're constantly in heels, and when you're walking through the forest, you're in heels. So how do you walk through the forest in heels? I always think.
You're like, how are you wearing heels now? So, this is a fun game for us. If you pay attention, which you do already, so you know the show better than I do, maybe. When you're in Vancouver and it's like -7, you don't care about continuity. Your excuse for everything is magic. I was wearing heels and now I'm wearing wedges. So we kind of fake it sometimes, depending on the weather. If it's raining, sometimes I do have to wear the heels. But as soon as that master shot is done and we're coming in tight, I'm in Uggs. I'm in Uglies. I mean, they are not attractive, those shoes, but they are damn comfortable and warm. And I throw those babies on and pretend I'm wearing heels. And I used to say to Eduardo, can we make Franken-Uggs where, like now you see these shoes, and I actually have a pair because I love them, but they're like platform sneakers. I dig those. It's like the Brooklyn Block girl in me, but I want those for Regina in the forest. I want to call them Franken-Uggs.
My second question is, playing Regina, the Evil Queen, does that ever affect your personality? Do you see it outside of acting as well?
You're gonna have to ask Fred. I think it does on some level for sure. I have to put myself in check, or someone has to remind me that I'm not on set. I'm Lana. But yeah, I would think that it would definitely bleed into life. I mean, I believe Glenn Close, after she did Sunset Boulevard years ago, had to go away for 2 or 3 months after. There are a lot of actors that have to take that time. I think you too, Bono. Fred was telling me that after a tour, he has to like check into, you know, go to some island or somewhere remote to kind of decompress and kind of remember that, you know, okay, I am that guy on stage, but I'm also Bono. Why are you shaking your head at me? And I'm not looking at you anymore. And so I think it's critical. Like, it depends on the actor, but if you're playing a really intense role, there are times I've had to, you know, go for long drives after long days, or stay a little, you know, an hour later, or go into my little creative space, what I call it. I have like we've had a guest house where that's like my work space, and so sometimes after long days or weeks, I'll go in there, decompress for a couple of hours, and then walk into the house and try not to rip anyone's heart out. Hi.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I was wondering, what is the most embarrassing moment that happened on set?
Oh gosh, embarrassing.
Or funniest?
Oh God, there's so many. Not so many embarrassing. Oh, it's in the blooper reel for this season. I couldn't say it, and I was like, what's wrong with me? I couldn't say alternate reality. It's an alternate reality. I kept saying, it's an alternate reality. It's an alternate reality. It's an alternate reality. And it was really embarrassing because I sounded like I was acting for the first time or speaking for the first time. And every single take, it got to the point where I would look at Sean during my coverage, and then he would say, Lana, it's your coverage. You can't give us the back of your head. Can I just mouth it and then fix it in ADR? So that was really embarrassing. I mean, something so simple, but you try to say alternate reality 10 times in a row when you're not with me, because you'll probably show me up and prove that it's not as hard as it was for me that day. So I was quite embarrassed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. That microphone's a little crappy.
Hi, my name is Sky, and I was wondering if you had to pick one fairy tale character to be Regina's love interest, who would it be and why?
Robin Hood, because he is her love interest. He needs someone alive. Anyone who we haven't seen Regina's love interest. I feel like all the Disney love interests that we've seen have princess girlfriends.
Tarzan.
Who's fit? Who's Darth Vader or Han Solo? Han Solo. Who? I have not seen it. That's it. Y'all hate me now. Sorry to disappoint. But I have not seen it. But if he's tall, dark, and handsome, then yes, he is her love interest. I don't know. Do you have someone you want to hook her up with? I'll make some calls. What do you want to do?
I kind of thought like the Mad Hatter or something.
Ooh. That would be an interesting love interest. An interesting love interest. Maybe. I don't know. But thank you. I mean, he is a handsome man. And he makes great hats, and I love hats. Thank you. Hi.
Hi, Lana. So first off, I've never seen Moana either.
Yay! I'm not alone. Thank you.
No problem. I also wanted to thank you for acting like my mom in the photo shoot earlier. I'm totally going to replace some of my family photos. I don't think my mom's going to care, so.
Cool.
So my question, basically, this is my first convention where it's focused on just one show, and I was really nervous coming here. And throughout the weekend, I've seen the entire cast just act like one big happy family together. And it really made me comfortable. It made me feel like, the fans are part of that family too. So my question is, what is your favorite thing about your fan base?
Oh my God. Your loyalty, your open hearts, your passion, your dedication, how this show inspires you and informs you on how you want to approach your life and what you want to do next, or if you've been fearful of something. I feel like this show really kind of enlightens you and pushes you towards the thing you're afraid of, but you actually come out stronger and better for it. So, I mean, these are the stories I've heard. I had no idea that this TV show would have such an incredible impact, and it's awesome. I was just saying, it's so sad. I was just saying, in my meet and greet, I often see these shows that are showing you how to do horrible things. Like they're showing you how to make bombs, or it's all about terrorism, it's all about this stuff. And I feel like some of that stuff is really influencing our youth and giving people really bad ideas. And I don't want to get too political in this conversation, but I can say I'm really grateful to be part of something that is not that. That is something that is like just really about love and hope, family, and friendships. And I'm not saying that we have to go back to what the 50s were like, because we don't. We don't need to go back there, but I do think that we need to have more positive content in the world for people to see. I think it would really make a difference if we invested in television shows or movies that were more positive. So, as silly as once upon a time can be moments with crazy dragons and stuff, like the heart of the show is what brings us all together, and it's beautiful. It really is. I talk about, I'm trying not to get too speechy here, but the bullying in our fan base, I feel like, I hope is starting to lessen. I really want, and this is what I love about conventions, is that you get to know your fans, you get to hear their stories, but you also get to see these weird conflicts that I just don't think there's any room for. And I really hope, and what I'm wanting to create in our fandom is more love, acceptance. You know, we all want to be accepted, even though, you know, we think differently, we have different interests, we want different things, we're attracted to different people. Great, awesome. One ship doesn't have to trump the other. Sorry, I said that. But, you know, it doesn't. And I want, and I'm going to try my damnedest to continue to inspire acceptance, equality, and it's okay if we disagree. It doesn't have to start wars. It can just be a disagreement and move on. We can still have a sandwich with the person. Even though you're a swan queener or you're an outlaw queen. It's great all around. So I just want to make sure that the fandom keeps practicing love, please. Thank you. Miss 14 different outfits here. I love it. Hi.
Hi.
Ah. Do we have another mic?
Well, thank you for being here and being you and so genuine and grounded. It's very, very refreshing. And for just being a beacon of light for all of us in such a dark world, because that is just in itself amazing. And those little sparkles just trickle on down to all of us, and I think that's awesome. But my question for you is, my grandfather was an industrialist and an inventor, and yours was an inventor too, so I wanted to hear a little bit more about your grandpa and what he did.
My grandpa he was ultimately an artist, and he had all these ideas and would like to create things and invent things. And it was like, stuff in the kitchen. I mean, he was really quirky. Let's just put it this way. He had a great sense of humor. He was an inventor. I can't list certain things like, he invented this, and then so-and-so invented it. It became this huge thing. But he did stuff for the house. Like, if it didn't exist, he would create it. And he would find things and put them together we didn't have a doorbell, so he used, what are those things? I need someone who's old cars that had what is it called? The thing that you have to pull on to start it. I mean, God, half of the crew in here is going, huh? Did I just push it up? The choke. So we didn't have a doorbell, so he used an old car choke for a doorbell that was connected to other wires or strings or something, and then that was connected to all these cowbells. And so that was our doorbell. And he would pull on this choke and all the cowbells would swing. And so he did stuff like that. It was his way of they couldn't afford to buy whatever it was, so he would invent it in the house. And so he had a very strange home. A lot of weird things. And my mother's side of the family had an incredible sense of humor. My dad, when he went to pick up my mom for the first time for their first date, he pulled up to the house and there was a car in the driveway with two legs sticking out the hood of the car, the trunk of the car, but the trunk was closed. And that was my grandfather, with two mannequin legs hanging out the back, just because. And so that was his weird way of kind of, I guess, intimidating my dad. He's warning, just if you're gonna take my daughter out, this could happen to you. So just, keep her up. But he was a very funny guy, and yeah, I miss him. So yeah, thanks. It's fun to talk about my grandpa. I haven't done that in a long time, so thank you.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I've done two things. I was wondering if you could do your Eagle Panda quote for us today.
I don't think so. Sorry, what do you want to do?
And my second question is, what's your favorite Regina/Evil Queen one-liner that you get to do?
Fillet the bitch. Start saying that more often. Like it definitely is more applicable to the mermaid, but maybe we can just, you know. Yeah, we can say things all the time. Just start saying it. Say that bitch. I don't know, maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. We want positivity. Sorry, that is funny. Yeah, you want. What's yours? See, it's hard, isn't it? All right. I said, you can't write I don't think so for a Brooklyn girl in the script. When they wrote that, they wrote I don't think so. And I thought, I don't know how to say that any other way than like the girl from Brooklyn would say it. Like, you know? So I had to really try to say it like Regina, which is I don't think so. Or I don't think so. I can't even do it as her. Because it's just like, I don't think so. Anyway, it's a New York thing. Hi,
Lana.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, it's fine.
Sorry.
That's okay. First, I just want to say that the episode where you and Zelina finally make up sisters is my favorite episode of the entire series.
Aww.
And the one that I by far cried the hardest at.
Oh, so did we. It didn't end watching it.
And then my question is, what would be your dream actor to work with and dream actress to work with that you haven't? And why?
I would love to work with Glenn Close or Ellen Burstyn or Meryl Streep because she's amazing. But I would say Glenn Close because I think she would intimidate me so much that I would want to work even harder to like just be the best that I can be. Because people that intimidate me also inspire me to work harder. I don't shy away from them. I actually go towards them because there's something to learn and about myself and learn from them. So I gravitate towards the people that kind of intimidate me, so I can overcome that feeling and then rise to the occasion. And for male, I would say Benicio del Toro, because I love him. I don't care what he does, he's just awesome. Yeah. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people, but I can't see anyone other than Benicio del Toro right now. So he's one of my favorite actors. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. Anyway, there you are.
Thanks, Lana.
You're welcome.
Hi, Lana.
Hi.
I have two questions for you. The
Yes.
first one is, how long did it take you to master the different dialects you use for Evil Queen and Regina? Or did they just come naturally to you?
No, I think they kind of came naturally. It was like it happened over time. It had sort of evolved naturally. They both feel very different to me when I play them. So it was easy to sort of, differentiate and go, okay, this is the Evil Queen, this is Regina. But then I had to make choices that showed the audience how different they were. So that was just, hard work and choices. I wanted to make sure they had different physical sort of expressions. I wanted them to stand differently. I think as Regina started to sort of soften and become the hero, she loosened up a little bit, but all of those were choices. Yeah, just working. I literally approached them as two different characters.
Well, you play it really well, because we can all see the difference in it. And my second question is, will you do your I Shall Destroy Your Happiness line for us?
I shall destroy your happiness. If it is the last time I do. It feels a little different saying it in this room. Hi.
Hi, Lana. Thank you for bringing your beautiful soul here to us today.
Thank you.
So, us as fans, I'm trying to think how to ask this question. We are able to connect with you, I feel like, in such an intimate level that it's amazing how we can feel this love for you when we've never even met you or talked to you. And as an actor, how do you are able to connect with us when you've never met us or seen us? If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I have this thing where I really see beauty in everyone, and I always have since I was very young. And with my grandfather, he would take me to the bar, and he would want to take me to the playground, and we'd have our Wonder Bread loaf, and we would feed the pigeons, and then he would say, let's go to the seesaw and the swings, and I would say, no, I want to go talk to all the old people. And I was 3, and I would sit and talk to all the old men and women in the parks. And I found people really interesting. I like people. And so I think I take a genuine interest in people I meet, and I want to look at them in the eyes because their souls are there, and you can connect and looking at someone in the eyes is a very powerful thing. And I feel that when I can look at you and just connect with you, I get a little bit of you, I can feel your energy, I can sense your soul, I can sense if you're shy, or if you're nervous, or if you're happy, or if you're not. And I don't know, I genuinely enjoy it, so maybe that's why.
No,
it's an interesting question, but I don't know a lot of you. I mean, I read a lot of your stories, your letters. I hear, in our meet and greets, some of your personal lives and your personal stories, and I tell Adam and Eddie all the time, I love doing these conventions because you really get to know our fans, and I find you all very interesting, and you're all important. We're all here together, and everyone's equally as important. So I don't know. I guess I just care.
My wife has the same characteristic, so I can totally relate to that. But just keep being your awesome here.
Thanks.